All right, good morning, everyone. Is my mic working? Okay, good. Welcome to our special events team meeting this morning. Reminder, this is just an administrative function hosted by the city of Boise to make sure we've got all the appropriate agencies in the room at any given time that have sign off on special events in our community, keep them fun and safe for everyone. So we'll start as we typically do with introductions. I'll go around the table first and then call on folks online. But then when we go through questions, I'll call on folks in the order in which they would normally be sitting at the table. Reminder, it's a public meeting, watch your P's and Q's, and we do need to use the mics so the system can pick up the audio. My name is Maria Wake from the Office of Community Engagement at the City of Boise.
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Dave Foch, Valley Regional Transit.
Julianne Hagler, City of Boise Risk Management.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec.
Jesse Tappert, Boise Fire Prevention.
Joe Deathman, Boise Fire Operations.
Cameron Colos, Boise Police Department.
Matt Sly, Boise Police Department.
Kyle Wills, Boise Police.
Rachel Holford, City of Boise Emergency Preparedness.
Kelly Frank, City Clerk's Office.
All right, Dinko.
Good morning, everyone. Dinko Milkovich, Central District Health.
Thanks. Ed.
Hi, Ed Graves, Public Works.
And Taylor.
I'll have to work with Taylor to get her to accept her invite as panelist, so she'll be online shortly.
All right. I realize now it's the rain that's keeping me from being able to hear them. I was like, what is that noise? It's crazy rain. All right. First up, we have Opera in the Park. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. I'm Carly Oppie, Development Director with Opera Idaho.
And Fernando Menendez, Marketing Director for Opera Idaho. From its humble beginnings, Opera in the Park has flourished and into a hallmark event that is loved by everybody in town. We've grown to over 2,200 people come at any one time to the park and enjoy free music. And we've seen a lot of enthusiasm from the community for this event. Maybe.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you. So it's really interesting because the first annual, well, now it's an annual event, but the first annual, we got about 1,000 people that came to the event. We were only expecting about 500. So that was a great start to this. And we've grown significantly every single season. And right now, these are estimates because it's hard to count when there's that many people. But my estimates are that about 22 to 24 max at any one time, because people come and go all the time. So it's been a great event. It keeps growing every year. And I think we're getting ready to max out just because the space won't let us. Next slide, please. They won't let me.
Oh.
This event embodies the essence of accessibility and inclusivity in the arts and serves Opera Idaho's gift to the public. It's an enchanting program that transcends everything, boundaries and hearts, just because it covers everything from opera to musical theater. And this year we'll have a few extra things going there, so it'll be fun. It's a celebration of music, community, culture, and everything happens at the park by the band shell. It's amazing.
Yeah, this year, in an effort to save some money for expenses, we're having a public sound check at 7 o'clock. So the concert itself is starting at 8:30, but at 7 o'clock, you'll hear, it'll almost sound like it's starting. And it's almost like a sneak peek. And a lot of opera companies who do these similar productions do this all over the country. They do their sound check and their warm up right there. And then the orchestra gets up, they might go get a drink of water, and then downbeat at 8:30 is what is the term in opera world. Downbeat is when it starts at 8:30.
Next slide, please. And we have some wonderful artists coming to Idaho. Andy Anderson has been a conductor for 4 seasons for Opera in the Park. Cecilia Violeta Lopez, who's born and raised in Idaho, is returning. She was at the very first Opera in the Park. And then we have Olga Perez, who's a Cuban-American. Her husband, Jamie Flora, who's American, and Mexican-American, Octavio Moreno, as the performers. And then we're going to have Melissa Paul and our General Director, Stacy Trentusaw, as hosts for the evening. Next slide, please.
So we are, and go ahead and interrupt me
Go
if
ahead.
I talk over you, Fernando. Our offices are like right across the hall from each other, so we yell at each other. But we're encouraging people to get there early. We will have non-food vendors this year, just 3 of them. The Boise Phil will join us, the Ballet Idaho, and also the Boise Bard Players. They'll have a little booth. They'll do interactive educational things and talk about their educational programming and what they bring to the community. Starting at 5, all the food vendors will be ready to serve. We have 6 food trucks, and then there will be a beer and wine garden, and all those will be ready to serve at 5. And starting at 6, the ticketed VIP area opens. That's an optional $100 ticket if people want to be a part of that, and you get hosted appetizers, you get a cup sponsored by a local orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Danes, at the Idaho Clinic. Thank you. And he's our VIP mocktail drink to your health sponsor. So that starts at 6. And we'll have a raffle going. Micron is serving us up lots of volunteers. And then our tried and true Opera Idaho volunteers who work with us at so many different events will also be volunteering, helping with things like directing people where to go, making sure people know there's a public water station and where the restrooms are, and also selling raffle tickets and just generally helping people have a good time and know where they're going in the park.
Next slide kind of is everything that she just talked about.
Oh, sorry.
And those are all the people that are coming for food trucks and everything. And then all these people on the right-hand side of the screen are all of those people who are made this possible by either by trade or sponsorships or donating something to the event.
Yes, and we're honored to be the recipient of a National Endowment for the Arts grant for the first time in our history, other than COVID funding. Idaho Commission on the Arts is National Endowment for the Arts funding, and we're very grateful for that every year. But we were specifically awarded a grant in support of this 4th annual concert in the amount of $20,000 from the National Endowment for the Arts. And we're really excited about that. So everywhere you'll see billing that this project is in part supported by the National Endowment for the Arts and all these other lovely people.
The next slide is actually our map of the event. I think everything should be color coded correctly. You can see there at the top right is where our beer garden is going to be, the little white box. Then about center, just above the Gene Harris, that's our VIP area. Right underneath it, behind it, sorry, I'm bad at giving directions. Gene Harris, bandshell, top left. There's a couple of tents that's for the artists to load their instruments and unload. And then on the front side, on the top right, there's a small tent where there's a water station is going to be that is being donated. Then on the opposite side of the bandshell is our information booth, right below it. And then to the right of that, and single one is our sound booth. And then the four that seem to be together just below are the ones where our vendors are gonna be, all of our activities. The yellow triangles are all of our production parking. That's where like the sound equipment, our van that brings everything. And then all the red and white squares are where all the food trucks are gonna be. The porta potties are gonna be installed right there, the little green dots. And we are also planning to have trash receptacles throughout and recycling receptacles, as well as a couple of dumpsters that we've rented, one recycling, one just trash. What am I forgetting?
New this year, Happy Camper RV Sales has donated a 2-day rental of a travel trailer that we will be able to offer to our visiting artists to give them an air-conditioned green room. The Happy Camper indeed, yes.
Oh, the other thing we will have also just scattered around, and I didn't put it on the map, is we bought some sandwich boards so we can put QR codes to our digital program in directions to where things are happening throughout the park. And then the next slide is just a little preview.
It's a brief video.
Hopefully it has sound.
Sound is always the issue, right? I know. Yes.
It's basically our director and our soprano talking about how wonderful this experience, the first one was, because these were videos taken at the very first and a little bit of a clip at the very last.
Yeah. This is from last year.
Last year, that what you're seeing right now. It's just a panning of just to see how many people actually went and enjoyed the event last year.
That's okay. We could have tested it once we arrived, but we didn't. So, yeah.
And of course, at the end, when you see everybody like moving little glow sticks, we were having a sing along, and that's our closing of the concert.
Yes.
Which will be, right now we're planning on finishing everything by 10 o'clock. Oh, you can
You
almost
can almost hear it.
And that is everything. And I
Yeah.
hope you guys can also join us because it'll be a fun event.
Yes, it will. I assume there's questions now.
Oh, there's always questions.
Always questions.
We will start with ACHD.
Hi, guys. Great presentation. Despite the lack of sound, you could feel the energy.
Thank you.
This is in the confines of the park, so you're outside of ACHD's right-of-way. I've received your application for informational purposes, so thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, well, look, we will go to Ed, who is likely to ask you about low waste guides for your vendors. Ed?
Yes, thank you. Hi, good morning. Wonderful presentation. Yes, I did want to ask a couple of quick questions for you. One is I wanted to make sure that for your food and non-food vendors that you have electronically distributed the vendor low waste guide to everybody.
Yeah, I recall doing that last year. That was my job, so I'll make sure I do that for sure.
Okay, great. No, thank you. Thank you very much. And then how is the beer and wine being served?
In a barriered area, and we've hired security. So they will be carded and get a over 21 bracelet if they're over 21. And Edge Brewing and Beer Wine Project will be, they each have their own point of sale, and they'll be selling. And we are going to make sure there's a couple picnic tables in there this year because it's technically the drinking cage. They can't leave with their alcoholic beverage in the barriered area, that area. That's the same for VIP.
Sweet. And then I guess specifically, will it be canned? Is it cups as far as the beverages?
It can be, Well, part of the VIP experience is a mere stainless steel reusable cup. So some people might have that. I would imagine Edge will have cans or cups, but we can definitely make sure they abide by the low waste guide and use something appropriate that suits.
No, oh, yeah. Oh, no, okay, great, great. Thank you. And I can, I will reach out after this and we can just work on that. Because yeah, I just want to make sure that I know this is a lovely event. And so I know people have a lot of fun. So just keeping that in mind as far as, you know, the waste generation. And then also, I guess just one more comment, and I don't want to sound like I'm just a curmudgeon on the screen here when I say this, but the glow sticks, like, I think that sounds awesome, especially when it's dark out and everyone's got them. Can there be like cell phone,
We are not surprised to get this question at all. It's been
Okay.
a huge part of our planning conversation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we are actually getting donated only 1,000 glow sticks and then
Actually, less.
less. Oh, okay, never
Delta
mind.
Dental underwrote about 500 branded glow sticks. And once they run out, they run out. And we're encouraging people to use their cell phone flashlights.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate
And
your
as
time.
we continue
Yeah.
to grow, every year we talk about like, okay, the glow sticks. Should we just, is there an app? Is there this? So yeah, we're limiting them and encouraging cell phone flashlights. Yeah.
Great. Thank you both.
Not a
Appreciate it.
curmudgeon, don't worry.
Okay, thanks.
That makes all of
Thank
us curmudgeons too, right?
you. Okay.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Ed, you're not done yet. The boxes, trash boxes and recycling cans, you only need 3 recycling bins. Where do you plan on picking those up? City Hall or Republic Services?
Republic Services where we picked them up in the past.
You'll get everything there. Okay, that's great. That's great. So I'll be expecting you, looks like on the 12th. My next question is the map. I did not see a copy of that. If I missed it in the application, I'm sorry, but if I can get a copy of that, that'd be great. Mainly because the description, the note I saw, because you put the order in, so thank you, first of all, for that, for trash and recycling. But the notes say behind the band shell, and my people are probably gonna think that means in your loading zone.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So if I could get a copy of the map, we'll make sure to get those in the right spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Guys, because everything is at the park, there's no concerns for the parking. So we're good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. And because everything's in the park, it doesn't affect VRT operations at all. So I hope you have a great event. Thanks.
Thank you.
And Dinko?
Thank you for the presentation. I checked our system and I don't know if you guys have submitted the notification of event in a list of food vendors yet. So I just sent Fernando an email and just do me a favor. Just review that email and go ahead and submit those documents to our front office if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
I do know that we have all their mobile numbers for their Central District Health mobile unit numbers, I think. So we have all that information. Yes, definitely. We'll get that in.
Okay, fantastic. And then just one question. I noticed a Lively Chef Catering was one of the vendors shown on one of the slides. Are they doing some type of VIP catering or are they actually setting up a booth and like selling food at the event?
They're our VIP caterer and the bar service is Joe's Traveling Bar. So the licensing, they're doing the food catering and Joe's Traveling Bar is doing the VIP bar.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we have your certificate of insurance for the city. So on our end, we are all good to go. Thanks.
Perfect. Well, awesome. You guys started out in did such a good job, and every year you just get better at it. So we'll just try to keep up with you guys. So if you need anything, it sounds like that the air conditioned, yes.
I
Yes,
know,
for all
I'm
that,
so happy
'cause
about that. Yes.
the band shell's wonderful, but it's not air conditioned.
It's hot.
So thanks for that. We'll of course make sure, all of our sprinklers are off, all those great things. The one piece I want to touch on is to make sure that you guys are out there and maybe blocking the parking that you guys are planning on using, because it's just one thing that we can't do for you since it's public space. So go ahead and just have a game plan for that. And if you need anything, we'll touch base here in the week or so. So
Okay.
yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Great presentation. It looks like you guys already have your separate Boise Fire special events permit in, so thank you for getting that in so early. The only other, the footprint looks good. The only other thing, I just want to remind you, the food trucks, any food truck cooking with grease, they have to have a fire department inspection. And the way you tell they have their inspection is if they have a green sticker on their truck. So just be mindful of that, please. And then make sure you keep those food trucks 10 feet apart when they set up, and please be on that, because a lot of times they'll come and they'll set up before you can get to them. Just please monitor that. And then the other thing is to keep that that roadway clear where the food trucks are, and your production parking. It's okay to park temporarily to unload some equipment, but we don't want people leaving vehicles being parked there. It's an access for us to get to the Boise River and around the park. And so we need to be able to have that clear right away. So fire access is critical.
Not a problem.
But other than that, it looks good. Thank you.
Great event. Look forward to it. Congratulations on the grant. That's a big deal.
Thanks.
A couple things. First aid station. I didn't see it on the map. It sounds like you guys have addressed it as your info booth. Is that correct?
Correct.
If you guys could label that very clearly for your attendees and possibly put a second tent that is purely dedicated to that. So there's a real demarcation of where you can go to either get help or get anything like that. You guys are right on the cusp of that 2,200, 2,500, where probably next year we're going to have to upgrade your coverage, which is awesome
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and this time of year with people going past the green belt and stuff like that, you're going to have a lot of people coming in. Won't surprise me if you exceed that this year, but I'm comfortable with where you're at this year. A couple other things. Jesse addressed the access. Julia Davis Boulevard is always an issue. You get vendors that kind of do a little mission creep and they start getting out there, and before you know it, it goes from 10 feet to 8 feet pretty quick.
Yeah.
So if you guys could, you might have somebody monitor that during setup and just kind of make a lap through there to make sure we have access through that. We have caught the band shell on fire before. I don't anticipate that happening again.
Okay.
But so those for your event, what's your comms plan? Are you guys using cell phones or radios or?
Cell
Cell
phones.
phones.
Okay.
We actually, I'm in conversation to make sure we either have a Wi-Fi boost sponsor or some sort of network boost, because the cell network did get overwhelmed last year and nobody could access our digital program. So we are in conversations with our fundraising software partner, Auction Frogs. They know exactly what we need, and they pointed me in the right direction. It's probably going to cost us something if we can't find a sponsor. So if anyone who's listening would love to sponsor, that'd be great. But it's worth the money, not only for them to be able to access our digital program and learn about these wonderful artists and our program, but to be able to get a hold of who we need to in an emergency.
Right. And so I think that's great. I'm glad you guys are on top of that. Next year, we might have to look at some radios or something like that you guys communicate, line of sight kind of thing.
Okay.
And so this year, great, but next year, maybe we have to shore that up. In the meantime, a couple different things that you guys can pass on to your volunteers and things, or a couple apps that are very handy. Pulse Point is one. That will give you kind of purview of what's happening at your event, as far as if there is a medical emergency in your event and somebody has called dispatch and you guys don't know, you'll see that pop up. And so you can address that real time. That gives you a lot more information. You can, we have this, get on your radio and dispatch people there, or at least have somebody flag us in.
Okay.
The other thing is What 3 Words. This is another one that will give you, it's called What 3 Words. So my 3 words or What 3 Words? What 3 Words? Great. This was designed, I think, by the people down at Burning Man. It's designed for these kind of events. And so what it will do, will allow us, as we're responding, to see in your footprint where somebody is within 10 feet. when people call it in, the dispatch can pin that and we can find that. But for you guys, if you're there and the one calling, that's great to have that app on your phone so you can either tell them what 3 words, or it gives you a lot more kind of situational awareness at your event. So if you guys have your volunteers download that and those kind of things, and then we may have to upgrade a couple things next year, but that's a testament to how great your event is and how well attended it is, and the appetite for what you guys are doing. So I think it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I might need to know a little bit more about your experience at Burning Man.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Thanks for the presentation. And thanks, Carly, for reaching out early regarding alcohol. If you could just turn in your multi-vendor application when you get a chance, if you haven't already.
I think I did, but I'll double check.
Did you send it to the clerk's office maybe?
I think I sent it to you, but I don't, and the
Okay.
other person, Kelly.
Okay. Kelly, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. Maybe just send it again if you
Yep,
could.
you bet.
That way we can get the process started.
These days, sometimes I dream that I do things.
Okay.
And then-
No problem.
Yeah, yeah.
No worries.
but-
So that part, and then I've spoken with Joe and started out, the process with that. So once I have that application, I can do the rest of the permits for them.
Okay.
And then also if you could just let me know the service, as Ed was asking regarding, whether it's cups, cans, how you're going to serve alcohol in the different areas. So just so I can note it on the permits.
Okay.
And then I should be all set from there. I'll do the rest with the vendors. Okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. This looks like a great event. I just had one question. Do you have private security you typically have? Okay, that's great.
Mhm.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing from motors.
Good morning. Love seeing you guys back and such a wonderful event. And I just want to say thank you so much. Huge applaud for them turning in all the information, your medical plan, your event action plan. It was beautiful.
Thank you,
So-
Diana.
Yeah.
Kaler,
Diana,
production manager.
Thank you. So we have all the information that we need. We will get that put together and shared with any of the emergency services in the area that may be working. So if they do need to come down to the footprint, they are aware of your setup. Outside of that, we're good to go, and I'm hitting the approve button now.
Thank you.
Yes, well done. Diana would be proud. So thank you guys for being so thorough. If you do need anything else, let me know. But from my standpoint, we're good. But I'll help Colos track down the multi-vendor form too.
Okay. It's totally done. I just need to make sure you guys get it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Look forward to the event.
Thanks. Thanks for everything you guys do.
All right. Up next, an event we're all very curious about. Jason, come and tell us about Pledge for the Plunge. And mostly I'm curious to know which of our special events team members are going to take the plunge. And how many puns we can make through the course of the question.
Definitely.
Welcome, you guys.
Heard is everybody will be there with us in the ice. So we just signed you guys up. Well, perfect. Is this working?
That's for you, and just make sure your mic's on, or you do speak into them so everyone online can hear.
It is
Thank you.
on. I might just have to have you advance it for us. Okay. Well, here we are. Seems like when we started this conversation, it was yesterday. So I'm grateful that you guys are still in this with us, and we are so excited that we not only live in one of the coolest cities around, but we have some pretty phenomenal people in this. A part of, and you can advance the slide, please. Part of what we're trying to do is something, a hot topic these days of biohacking and fun stuff. So what we are intending to do is bring something that is very topical to bring together our community for something that's so prevalent and 1 degree of separation almost anywhere you go, and that's pediatric cancer. And so our whole goal is to bring our community together, highlight some amazing ways that they can help, and we want to set a world record. So we have a bar of 510 people taking the plunge with us. We have a very fun plan that we'll go through inside of that park and footprint to really just try to celebrate exactly what we hope. Please advance. So our footprint is right in front of the Capitol. It is in Cecil D. Anders Park, and then it will extend into the Capitol Boulevard. We are set for a Saturday setup and being done on that same day, July 20th. Time frame for the event is we will have a sound check at 5 p.m. And then we're really inviting the entire community. So this is an open event for everyone to come down and celebrate with us from 6 to 9 p.m. We're hoping for 800 people. We would love it to see all of the community that's around. So we definitely have a lot of invitations sent out, but what we're hoping is people that are downtown and walking by come see the celebration and attend it with us. Our fundraising goal for sure is $100,000, a high bar, and it has been extremely exciting to put the plan together to see how we can have many hands make light work for the amazing research and treatments that are happening. Like I said, we have a tall task. We have 510 people that we're going to get into the ice under 50 degrees for at least 3 minutes. So the plunge is only a 3-minute long event. And then the celebration is the other aspect of it. So we will have all sorts of awesome activities. When we get to the footprint, I'll dive into it. Can you advance the slide, please? The one big hurdle we are asking to do something that, man, it gets everyone's attention the second we say that we are attempting to close down Capitol Boulevard. People just immediately say, tell me more. And so what we are hoping to do is we are hoping to take over Capitol Boulevard on both sides of the Y from Bannock to Jefferson. We're hoping for a road closure in the afternoon. And we're doing a dance of trying to keep the road closed as little amount as possible so that we don't have water in the pools being heated up. So we are working, we actually have a phone call this afternoon with Veolia to see exactly how much water we can pump and how fast we can do it so that we don't need as much ice as July was probably going to require. So that is definitely our footprint and our road closures that we're trying to accomplish. Next slide, please. And here it is. So, most of the celebration, what we're hoping for is in that beautiful park at the footprint. We did reserve the steps with Steve over at the Capitol, but we don't foresee any activities being over there. We did receive permission yesterday to have the stage and make announcements from the Studenberg statue platform, but we will have a stage trailer that Valiant Productions will be moving in, and they requested us to put it right at the top of that right Y for easiest access and most accessibility from all sides of the parks. We definitely have right where that cursor is, that is our medical tent. We have a beautiful partnership with the signed medical agreement coming very, very soon from Dr. Richard McDonald with the College of Orthopedic Medicine. So they will be leading the charge with all medical services for us with an entire team of student volunteers coming in. I did hear that question. We do have 15 radios, so we will be using radios with our medical team and our key individuals on our volunteer teams. But what our hopes are is that we have something for everyone. We do have food options, not many, but the celebration is going to be fast and quick. We have a kids area, and what we're hoping to do is keep the kids entertained and have some moments of celebration for them as well over on the side. But yes, the idea is, and I believe the next slide is our event flow. Yeah, so the schedule is we're going to come down there and just get the whole footprint laid out. And we we foresee the road closures taking about 12 o'clock, putting them all out there, getting everything laid. We have an amazing high school wrestling team that's going to help us come pump up all the pools and get the footprint laid out. So we are going to start that right around lunchtime, and then really start to fill up the pools, and we'll have a nice truck ready to do a parade of ice into the pools. The event, we actually have some fun people coming to do some breath work with us right before everybody takes the plunge. And then capping out the event at 9 o'clock with our volunteer teams, pulling everything down as soon as possible. We also have a volunteer team coming the very next morning so that we have daylight where we can come do a clean sweep of the park and the area of the footprint to make sure that it's better than the way we found it. Next slide. So this is the same footprint with additional information from trash to recycling to porta potties, hand washing stations. It seems as though everyone has their matrix, and the map shows 18 different trash receptacles and recycling. We do plan on getting them at City Hall as soon as possible. And we also have rented 2 dumpsters from Republic, and we have reserved spaces on 6th Street that we plan to collect all of that. This map also shows our loading and unloading zone down at the bottom. Yep, absolutely. And that is access for anyone needing accessibility, drop-off zones for vendors, or our ADA access. This also shows where our info, lost child, and vulnerable person booth will be. It'll be next to the stage. It's right up there by the top right Y. And yeah, that's about the layout. We have vendors that will be inside of the park as well as on the street. We're keeping all the food on the outside, and our sponsors and vendors inside of the park. Next slide, please. And this is more of what I spoke about earlier, with a general flow with as many people as we can get ready into the plunge, a great celebration with background music and announcements. We will be selling digital raffle tickets, not in the park, but on our online platform for donations. We have access for virtual plunges, so people at home that can't make it out to the event can still support our campaign as well as participate. Next slide, please. So we really hope that this event does impact the community. We hope that we can get as many ears and eyes on just what's happening inside of our city and with all the agencies that are involved with it. So we hope that there is a massive impact with our city being on that stage. We have an event the day before with about 15 keynote speakers with a reach of 5.4 million on social reaches. So we really foresee this event being on a large stage of all the great things happening in Boise. Next slide, please. And so, yeah, we're here humbly, and grateful for all of the assistance so far and the guidance and direction. So we know that this is a big and very unique ask, and it seems as though with the conversations and collaboration, we've found ways to make all of these wild ideas come to fruition. So we appreciate the time today. I believe that's the last slide. Yes.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for the good presentation. I know it can be a little intimidating your first time around. I really appreciate this event. My soon to be 18-year-old nephew is a childhood cancer survivor, so it is near and dear to my heart and such important work. He wouldn't be here today if it weren't with the good medical care he got. So start with ACHD.
Hi,
Hi, Jason. It's so nice to finally meet you.
I know, right?
I
It's
feel like we've
official.
been talking about this for a few months, and when you initially called me, I was like, wait, is this a joke? But I've emailed you offline about the things that I need from you. My only other question is if you've reached out to ACHD for a dumpster permit on 6th, we'll need to do that as well.
Okay.
I can absolutely help you with that. And then, yeah, I emailed you a few things that I need from you. So thank
Perfect.
you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Ed?
Hi, yeah, thank you guys very much for the presentation. Just a couple of quick things. Going forward, definitely electronically distribute to all food and non-food vendors our low waste guide. The link is on the application, so definitely please, if you could get that to all of those. And then let's see, I apologize, it's not on our application yet, but you'll actually, and I'll email you with Conrad, but you'll actually go through Conrad to get the trash boxes and the recycling containers. It'll be an easy peasy thing, but that is one change. And then quick question on the pools. So I guess what happens to them after the event?
We're hoping to auction them off and have our participants bring them home with us.
Sweet. I love that. Thank you very much. I was a little like, oh, I didn't hear anything about that, but I wanted to make sure. So great. Thank you both. And I will just reach out with a quick email. So thank you.
Appreciate that, Ed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, so Tanya mentioned the ACHD dumpster permit, so I'll need a copy of that, but we're already on that. The map is, I see that's been updated. The copy I have, I saw the dumpster icon, but I couldn't find it like on the map, but I see it now. Oh, change the slide. But if I can get a copy of that
Absolutely.
with the actual dumpsters in the street, that'd be great. And then finally, I tried to locate your order to make sure everything was scheduled and ready to go, but I could not. Do you mind telling me what name that could be under?
Yeah, definitely. And that's probably kind of one of the exciting things. There is a little bit of squirreliness in this whole process. We went and launched our own nonprofit with the amount of energy that we're putting towards this. We wanted most of that going towards the charities. So we have our own 501c3 under Life Amplified.
Life Amplified. Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad.
Jason, how's it going?
It's great to see you, Vince.
So yeah, we're set in parking. We've got everything reserved. We've got all the meters set up that we need. And so we're good. We're good to go. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bet.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for the presentation. Just to be clear, the only roads you're closing are those in the Y through Cecil Andrus Park, right?
Right.
Then we're good. You're not impacting our services. Appreciate it. Have a good event.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we've distributed all kinds of information for every attendee of the most available options and ways to lower that footprint of traffic down there too.
Great. Thanks.
Dinko?
Hi, Jason. Nice mustache, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We had an email exchange back in April, so just do me a favor and go ahead and submit that notification of event and list of food vendors to our front office if you have not already done so. And beyond that, you guys are good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi there. So it looks like we still need your certificate of insurance listing the city as additional insured, please.
Definitely. We are working in underwriting with a company out of Sandy, Utah, and they wouldn't issue it until we were 30 days out. So we are in the process of getting that.
Yep, that makes sense. Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, Jason. Nice to see you in person. I just have to say, you guys have done so much work on this since our very first phone call. And I'm just so glad that you found a place and you had it, you know, in you guys to just keep moving forward and finding a path forward for this. Because I think it's great work that you guys are doing in the community. I have no doubt will rally for this. So on the park standpoint, we are, we're able to sign off and we can support you guys however you need. So if you have anything between now and then, please let me know.
Well, thank you. And yeah, just for the record, you were the first one we spoke to, so you initiated a lot of these fun ideas.
No, thank you, Jason. Looks good. We got your special events permit through Boise Fire, so thanks for that. Could you send us over the stage, manufacturer stage specifications just for documentation purposes? And then I think you heard my food trucks feel from the last event, 10 feet apart, make sure they have their stickers if they cook with grease. But other than that, it looks really good and you guys are very organized. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Can you guys just shore up your medical plan for me a little more? It sounds like you got a doctor's office that's volunteering. Will you have an AED available?
We will have an AED, we will have an MD on site, and they're bringing 8 to 10 students with a medical tent right next to the plunges.
Okay, that sounds good. Good luck on the event. I think what you need to consider in future years is putting a challenge out to the fire department and the police department so you can get the most people down there one of these days.
It's not too late.
Hey.
That would make
definitely.
such good social media content.
Love the event. Nothing for me. Thanks.
Hi, Jason. Great job on this event and putting all this stuff together. I know this was a lot of work. You guys have done a great job working with us. The one thing I just wanted to ask about was where the stage is going to be. I hadn't seen that before on the previous maps. My concern that I had was there's enough space there that we can put a barricade, especially if it's in the info booth and there's going to be people there. There's still going to be traffic flowing in between Cecil Andrus Park and the Capitol. And I just want to make sure that there's enough space that we can put a barricade there just to make sure that that's safe for everybody who's going to be around there. So other than that, great job. And we can work on that.
That sounds great. Our audio-visual team from Valiant Productions direct us towards that mobile stage. Said it's kind of the best part and parcel option. So I'll get the exact footprint of that and send it over to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Sounds like a great event. That mustache is better than any Boise Fire mustache I've ever seen. So
We'll write that
you've already
down
got
too.
them beat there. From the police side, the motor side, we've got signed labor agreement. We'll have officers there to make the street closures. So I think you're all good for us. So good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Hello again. Nice to see you guys and tremendous amount of work you guys have done. So we did have the safety and security meeting with the group already. And you guys have got us the majority of the stuff. All that I had outstanding was just to make sure we have those point of contacts for on site, who's going to be your medical lead. And if you are bringing a private security company, who's going to be that lead point of contact. Outside of that, we have everything we need. We do have a request in to see if fire is able to participate with an engine down there. BC Detman, just so you know. So once we hear back, we'll let you know. It'd be a great presence if we can do that. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and while you're there, BC Detman, you might as well go ahead and pledge too, so. All right. Oh, all right, Sly.
Notice he said, if I'm there that day.
Yeah. He'll probably be there and then remember very quickly what the event is. Thank you guys. Great to meet you in person. If you need me to help get the requested documents out, please just send them to the special events email. And then I'll post them in your file and everybody has access to them. So you don't have to remember who needs what.
Okay.
If you need anything else between now and then, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just keep working on all the details to get the final sign off.
Okay, that's great. And I'm going back and forth with Abby from the
Oh, yes.
DDA to just start making the community announcements as well.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Good.
And last but not least, one of Boise's favorite events, Santa Nausea. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Virtually.
Oh, we've got both of you. Fantastic.
I am here.
All right, I'm John Boyd. I'm here on behalf of the Bass Center and providing some in-person presence along with Joseph taking the lead this year on the permitting side.
Yep. Like John said, I'm Joseph Criswell. I'm on the board of directors with Euskal Dunak, which is more commonly known as the Bass Center here in Boise. And we will up our game next year as far as the presentation goes. Make it a lot prettier, I promise. But yeah, like we had mentioned earlier, we are here talking about the 2024 San Ignacio Basque Festival, which has been going on for over 35 years on Grove Street between Capitol and 6th Street. And it's to commemorate the patron saint of the Basques, Saint Ignatius of Loyola. And it's similar in commemorating the Basque immigrants in Boise and putting on a similar festival to the towns you would see over there. And so it starts on Friday, the official events, and goes on through Saturday and Sunday night. Although we are requesting to shut down the street Thursday so that we can get set up and then keep it closed until Monday morning at 8 a.m. when it would be reopened. And the festival includes music, sport, food. Starting with Friday night, we have Friends and Family Night. The events officially begin at 5 p.m., even though people are usually mulling around earlier. We will have a food booth and a beer booth outside per previous years that serves chorizos and croquetas, as well as bottled water and sodas at the food booth. And then we will be serving beer and calimochos outside. Excuse me, not calimochos outside, only beer, and that will be in cans. And then Friday night, we won't have a street dance. There may be roaming musicians playing accordions and tambourine music. We'll also have sporting events in the fronton. We'll have professional handball, women handball players who are playing an actual government-sponsored game that evening, as well as on Saturday. And then Saturday morning, we'll have the traditional street dances by the young kids, followed by musicians, and then the Oinkati Bass dancers. And that is typically over by around 3 p.m. John, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere here. And people usually disperse at that point to wait until afternoon mass, which is in St. Mark's in Meridian. And then at the Basque Center again that evening, there will be a street dance. We'll have a stage set up Saturday morning. We'll have local musicians playing live music through the evening. And then Saturday night, we will also have a DJ inside the Basque Center hall from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then Sunday, the festivities kind of shift away from the Basque Center. We have a picnic in the park, and they pick back up in the evening. We'll have a street dance at 8 p.m., which is also when the food and beer booths will be open. And then same thing, we'll have a street dance Sunday night until that ends. We'll close up shop. The food, beer booth, stage will all be broken down Sunday night, and then cleaned up to have Grove Street reopen by 8 a.m. the next morning. So that's the typical timeline of events. And then kind of moving down the PDF here for the trash and recycling plan. This is a little outdated because we actually just have some additional recycling on site in the alley. We have now 3 existing dumpsters, and we will be renting an additional 20 yard that we'll be putting in the alley right next to Freeform, between Freeform and Bardenay. We'll also have a team of volunteers at all times through the festival, picking up trash and recycling and putting them in their appropriate spots. Last year, I believe we used 10 trash bins from the city of Boise and 8 recycling. And that was sufficient. I think we'll ask for 10 and 10 this year, unless there's any concerns with that or reasons against that. And then moving down into the site layout, if we can. A bit difficult to see, apologies. So yeah, this is looking at Grove Street. We will close the street. As you can see there, the street barricades. We actually just purchased some new 7-foot by 3.5-foot steel concrete not steel concrete barriers, but steel barriers that we'll be using to close both ends of the street that can be easily removed for emergency access. We have the food booth towards the east side of the street. That's where the chorizos and croquetas will be served, as well as bottled waters and pop. And then just in front of, or between the Basque Museum and the boarding house will be the beer tent. And that's where the cans will be served. We also will have a High Aldi vendor. We're missing one tent here on this layout. That will be the info booth for this year, and the Lost Child or Info High Aldi San Ignacio booth that will be located more or less where the cursor is, where that security is, in front of the museum, Basque Museum there. So we need to update that. And then we also are going with Rocky Mountain Audio for the stage. So the stage is actually going to be 16 feet by 22 feet wide. So that needs to be updated a little bit, but that's where the main concert will be, Saturday and Sunday evenings. And then we have security at all entrance points and typically just main areas of cross-pollination, areas where a lot of people tend to gather or move through. And yeah, we'll also have sheep wagons on the west side of the block. Those are old style sheep herding wagons that people can take their pictures in and see the old way of life, so to speak. And then we'll have Summer Snow, who's served snow cones in the past. They'll be there again this year. And for Central District Health, we have their number, and I just need to get that to you. I apologize for that. Yeah, and so we have security throughout the festival, as you can see there. And the next sheet is just showing that security schedule and calendar, which we will have security starting Thursday night through the evening. So once we set up, we'll make sure that there's someone there. And then we have it set up with MAV contracted security to provide the majority or the most security during peak times, which typically starts around 5 p.m. Friday night and then goes through the evening until the bar shuts down. And then same thing for Saturday and Sunday nights. We'll have someone there throughout the night from Thursday to Monday during busy times. And then I know that our medical plan on the next sheets is outdated. We are working on that. Apologies about that, but we do have an AED in the Bass Center Hall, and we also use the Bass Center Hall as an area of refuge, as AC. We also have fans and misters in the street to help people cool down. We know it's always usually very, very hot. So we're aware of that. And yeah, I think that's our presentation. And if there's any questions, I know there will be. We're happy to take them.
Thanks, Joseba.
Yeah.
Maybe not a fancy presentation, but very comprehensive. So thank you for that. I think you touched on almost everything. We'll start with ACHD.
I think I have everything I need from you guys. I'll double check. The only question I have is I didn't see a PED plan submitted, so I just want to make sure that all of the pedestrian right-of-ways are clear and nothing obstructing them.
Yeah, we make sure to keep an 11.5 foot, and it's really 12-foot access on both sides, just to make sure we keep that open. So
Yeah, and that's kind of a straight shot all the way from one side of the block to the other in front of the businesses.
I did notice that you guys had some workings on 6th as well. And it looked like some temporary barriers on the right-hand side there. Just make sure that those sidewalks have a minimum of 5 feet. And there's like some trucks parked there. So I think it says it's a beer vendor or something like that. Just make sure that you have clearance there.
Ed?
Perfect. Hi, yeah, thank you for the presentation. Looking forward to another great festival. Just some quick questions. One is as far as, the alcohol and different drinks, is there one primarily it's being served in cups or cans, or how's that look?
yeah, the only thing being served in cups is coming from inside the bar itself. Everything else should be served in bottles at the food booth or cans at the beer booth.
Okay. And then also just make sure that, your volunteers who are dealing with the trash and recycling, just, if you can, just make sure that they know if they're taking the recycling from the recycling containers to put into the recycling dumpster, that it shouldn't be bagged, and they can just either reuse or probably just throw those liners in the trash.
Yeah, definitely. And we're using the same volunteers as previous, and I believe we bought 2 separate trash and recycling liners, so they should be on it by now, hopefully.
No, perfect. Thanks. And please reach out if you have any questions or if they have any questions about any of that. And then, so I will send you an email with Conrad on it. You'll be getting those bins, both trash and recycling, from Republic Services. But again, that'll be easy to coordinate with you. And then my only other thought was, I loved hearing you mention the chorizos and the croquetas. Those are like my favorite. But I didn't hear anything about calimochos. Is that, that's going to be?
That'll be inside, from the bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so those will be there, I promise.
Perfect. Okay. Well, hey, thank you very much. And
Yeah, you
I'll
bet.
send you that email here.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Good morning. I believe we worked out just about everything yesterday through email. I am unclear whether or not the 20-yard order has been placed. Yes or no?
No, it has not. And I did want to mention one thing. I know last year we had it dropped off. It's shown where it is supposed to go now, but we did have it dropped off initially at Barganika's parking lot along Capitol, and then had to move that. So I know we'll make a note to make sure that's clear this year.
Okay, yeah. The more detail, the better for us. So I appreciate it. But
Yeah.
Once you place that order, just let me know, and I make sure that everything's been set up correctly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joseba, John, I think we're pretty close to getting everything that we need on parking. I think I got an email out to you, Joseba, and if you can respond to that, I think we'll be set. I think we'll get everything.
Awesome.
Here. Thank you, guys.
Will do. Thanks, Vince.
Thank you for the presentation. This doesn't seem to impact our operations at all. So have a great festival.
Thank you.
Dinko?
Hi, great presentation. We have your notification of the event. We have your temporary event application for the food booth. either myself or one of my colleagues, we will contact you just to complete a food safety consultation. And then one of us will conduct a routine inspection of the booth on the day of the event. Regarding
Perfect.
that shaved ice vendor, yeah, just do us a favor and just send us their permit number or documentation of being low risk. My guess is they're low risk. So thank you guys very much. You are good to go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi there. It looks like we have your COI in, so it's all good to go from the risk management.
Nothing
Thank
from the
you.
Parks Department.
Yeah, just a couple things. Just to be sure to apply for your Boise Fire Special Events permit, just like last year. And if I'm remembering correctly, I did the inspection on this last year, and when I showed up to do the inspection, one of the sheep wagons was parked in an area that was not indicated on the map. I think they had it across the street. So it was kind of creating a fire access issue. So if we could just remember to, if you park them like it looks like it indicates on the map, I think we'll be fine. And then we positioned the stage so we could get our fire apparatus around it. So if we could do that again, sounds like it's a little bit bigger this year. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and I think.
Yeah.
offset-
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll plan to offset it a little bit toward the museum. Is that correct, Joseba? That way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, towards the museum. Okay, I think that'll work. That way we don't
Yeah.
have to do a serpentine around it. And then the other thing, what is the barrier that you're going to use to protect the large propane cylinder near 6th?
Yeah, it's going to be those jersey barriers, same as last year, the orange.
Okay. It'd be filled with water?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I think it looks good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a great event. Love it. Can you, your medical plan seems a little loose right now. Are you guys familiar with the matrix that we provide with the city guide?
Yeah. Yeah. Dropped the ball on that one, but we are in the process and have it covered. Just need a few more days to get
Okay,
that together. And
so what I'd like to see is a minimum, this, you guys, this is an awesome event. The women's handball kind of crosses sporting events. It's a market, it's a street fair, it's a concert, it's all those things wrapped into one. Looks like we're in excess of 2,500 people. But I think as a minimum, what I'd like to see is some kind of tent demarcating your first aid and where that can be accessed from. When we get inside a private event, it's not as visible to the public. And so the more people, the more visible you can be, the better it is. When you do set up that tent, what I would prefer to see, or what I'd like your volunteers to see, is a hard copy of where exactly they're at. When something happens, somebody comes to the event, and when you do have to access that 911, it's easy for your volunteers to go, we are at the corner of 8th and blank. So for wherever you guys choose to set that up, that would be great. So as a minimum, I'd love to see that. There's a lot of different agencies you can contract with. AED, EMT would be the bare minimum, I think, for an event like this, just because it's so well attended, and the time of year is a factor for me, just because it's in July. When we draw down city resources for an event like this, if we have a medical or anything like that, you're going to get a fire engine and an ambulance. And so with the wildfire threats during July and things like that, these are always a factor for me. So contracted with a private agency would be preferable for me with that medical tent. If you guys need help with that, you can reach out to me. And I think we'll probably do a special events safety security meeting too. And we can address that then if you guys need help.
yeah, that'd be great.
I think you guys, if you were listening earlier, What 3 Words is a great app to give your volunteers so they can know what's going on in your event, and they can help direct resources to your event should something happen. What that does is give them where the emergency is taking place within 10 feet geographically. It'll put a pin there and we can make access. Flash. Obviously, I'm talking too much today. Additionally, with that is a Pulse Point app that'll tell you within your footprint what is going on or anything around your footprint. And those are just great to have to give you kind of intel into what's happening at your event. But yeah, the first aid tent and that, I think we need to shore up a bit as we move forward. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys, great event. Looking at the map, the updates look really good. I appreciate the stakeholders and the meeting that we had and making some positive adjustments. The map looks really good. So look forward to seeing it get set up. And then with additional events going forward as well. I have your alcohol permit. I went ahead and attached this map to it. So I think we should be good to go on that. I was just gonna, as Ed mentioned, notate what types of service we're gonna have outdoors for alcohol. So if we could just get that information to me, I'll put it on the permit and we should be set. I appreciate it and have a great event.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for that presentation. This is going to be a great event. Nothing further from the Boise Police Department.
Great, thank you.
Hello, nice to see you guys back. And thank you so much for working on this information. We've been receiving some of it via email. I think it's just best for us to get our safety and security group together so then we can get all of this finalized as quickly as possible and get you guys more towards planning the event as a whole and enjoying it. So we'll reach out with a meeting invite probably tomorrow for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you also for, it looks like you have security at the other restaurant openings and stuff too. So that's very important. That's probably one of the main calls that we do get is making sure people can access those businesses as well throughout the event. Everything else looks good. So just work on updating that map and then, yeah, we'll get the safety and security meeting scheduled and finalize the details there.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
All right. That is all for our presenters. We do have, I think, just some upcoming events. So please make sure that you're getting into the system and signing off on them as quickly as possible. I know everyone's real busy. But if Kelly has to track down a sign off and it's just because you haven't gotten to it yet, it's not that it's probably not her highest and best use. So if everyone, especially in these busy times, can just be super mindful of keeping track of what is in the system and when things have been signed off on, that's great for everyone. So we will see you in a couple weeks.